Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your March 2021 mid-month general readings. We are looking at the last 2 weeks of March, and this reading is for the air sign of Gemini, our twins, for the last 2 weeks of March 2021. Thanks for taking the time to tune in today. I hope you're all safe and well and relatively peaceful wherever it is that you're at as we move through another year, a little bit better and brighter year. And thanks for all that you do in support of this channel, even if it's just taking the time to, watch the videos, your likes, share, subscribe, support, feedback, comments, donations, reaching out for personal readings. It is all greatly welcome and greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. So this reading is for the air sign of Gemini, our beloved twins, for the last 2 weeks of March 2021. That's if your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign is in Gemini. It's also relevant if you're cross-watching for a Gemini. Of course, it's a general reading, so it's always going to resonate a little differently for everyone in the details and specifics, although the energy fundamentally remains the same for everyone. If you find that the readings do resonate with you and you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, maybe take a deeper look at something, I'd be delighted to hear from you. You can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also get that information, that contact info, by clicking on the little arrow, clicking on the description link below. I can usually respond within the same day with more information. I do offer a wide variety of readings for yourself or as a gift for anyone else. And I do readings full-time. It's all that I do. So I'm pretty diligent about working with people's schedules and my own to get those readings set up in as timely a fashion as possible. So email me if you're interested. I'd be most happy to work with you. Okay, Gemini, let's see what the last 2 weeks of March have in store for you. Gemini, our twins. Gemini. All right, Gemini. Oof. We begin with the devil. A little bit of imbalance or toxic energy there. Obsessive energy with strength. So trying to break negative cycles, bad habits, negative relationships. The devil is cyclical energy, regardless of what it is, whether it's actual addictions, drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, shopping, toxic negative relationships, overeating. The devil is a card that represents feeling sort of enslaved in a cycle that's harmful to you, and it's difficult to get out of it because there's something about it that you get out of it, temptations and vices. Strength is facing your fears, doubts, insecurities, looking at your own participation in this negative cycle, being honest and clear about that, because that's the only way that, we can move through these things, first admitting you have a problem and all that. So trying to break negative cycles and really trying to look at the reality of what it is. And then we have the Six of Cups, which is a card traditionally associated with anything you have a historical connection with. Old friends, old lovers, childhood roots of origin, parents, family, people you've known, people, places, or situations you've had some kind of long historical connection with. It's also a card that represents, looking through things, looking at things through rose-colored glasses with the same innocence and naivety and openness as we did when we were children before, we became so burdened with the cares and concerns of life. Along with the Eight of Cups, which is a card of leaving behind, turning your back on that which you find ultimately disappointing and unfulfilling. You may have started out thinking these eight cups held exactly what you needed, would make you happy, but it's either run its course or you've gone partly through them and said, this isn't it for me. I'm going to leave. I might not be sure where I'm going, but I'm going to leave and go off in search of my Nine of Cups, which is the wish fulfillment card. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Somebody who either you're involved with or close to or is influential or significant in this situation in some way. Could be a childhood friend, it could be a mother, could be an old partner. Although I sort of feel like she might be in a helpful position. The Queen of Pentacles is the Queen of Earth, capable, practical, resourceful. She's helpful and nurturing, but she does it in very practical, hands-on sort of ways, like bringing casseroles in the vacuum cleaner, or this is somebody who is very good at running the day-to-day practical aspects of the physical world we live in and making it all seem very effortless. Justice. the scales being weighed out. The consequences and outcome being entirely dependent on what you do. This is the reap what you sow card. But this is a card of making something out of balance come into balance. It's the opposite energy of the devil, which is things being out of balance because there's too much obsessive energy in one thing or one area. Justice is about balance, is about the scales being even and fair and karmically equitable. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy for the last 2 weeks of March, the Nine of Swords. I really don't like this card. Stress, anxiety, insomnia, worry, fear, obsessively negative energy. This is like being afraid of an unknown future, how something is going to turn out. What if this happens? What if this doesn't happen? And trying to envision it, but it's almost always the worst possible outcome until you've gotten it so built up in your head, all these ideas and thoughts and fears and anxieties, that it actually doesn't even fit or match the reality of the external situation. So it's not that the source of your fears might not be valid, but this is a card of thinking about it obsessively, too much, and typically in a negative way. So we can cut that energy down a bit, Gemini. So let me take a look at this. Taking a look at the negative, toxical, cyclical nature of something that you're attached to. It looks like you're looking at it in a realistic way, even though that can be difficult. And considering the possibility or the option that you may need to just leave, like maybe even physically leave the situation in order to be free from it. Again, this Queen of Pentacles might be a challenge for some of you, but for most of you or a lot of you, I feel like she's in a helpful position. She may be somebody who's helping you, who may help you get away for a while, may help you kind of restore balance in this situation or just in your own life. And because she's next to that Six of Cups, she may be somebody you're related to, or an old friend, or a mother, or a grandmother, or an aunt, or an older sister, or, somebody in a helpful position. Yeah, this is something that you've been invested in or, in for some time, whether it's a situation or a job or a relationship, something of that sort. You've been in it for quite some time. I mean, the devil doesn't just appear overnight. It takes time to become obsessive or addicted to something, to get caught in a negative cycle. And with the Six of Cups here and the Eight of Cups, leaving, walking away, yeah, I think you guys are in a lot of fear, anxiety, stress over what might happen. What if I stay? If I stay, then this will just continue. But if I go, what will happen? If I cut this off, if I stop it, how am I going to resist it? Because there's something about it that I keep drawn into, whether it's an actual physical addiction of some kind or just being in a toxic relationship with somebody. But you keep going back to it because there's love, there's caring, or there's all this time invested in it. So it's like staying or leaving. And again, I'm getting this very strong feeling that this Queen of Pentacles is in a helpful position. It's interesting because the Queen of Pentacles is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. And this has a very similar feel to the Virgo reading I did just a few readings ago. It has a very similar feel. So I don't know if there's maybe a Gemini, hair in my mouth, excuse me, Gemini, Virgo connection there, or a Gemini connection with an earth sign, even though it's a different elemental sign. So let's clarify a little bit. Let's clarify the Nine of Swords. It could be, I'm getting for some of you too, that you're afraid to leave because you don't know if you're going to be able to take care of yourself or support yourself or be independent enough on your own. And it may be, if part of what you would be leaving is another person, one of the things that might keep playing out in your head, which is maybe not a reality, is that, well, if I leave them, then who will do this for them? Or how will they take care of themselves? Or, a codependent relationship of some kind or another, whether the codependency is on one side or the other. A toxic relationship usually represents the two people being, codependent in a negative sort of way on each other, because being codependent is not inherently bad, but it can be when it becomes enabling rather than actually abling or helping someone. So let's clarify the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Pentacles, independence, self-sufficiency, self-empowerment. The Moon, a lack of clarity, not knowing. The Hanging Man, not taking action yet, not being decisive yet because you're still watching things play out. One more. The Queen of Pentacles again. Yeah, you're unsure about what to do because you don't know if either you or someone else is going to be able to deal with the separation in being independent and being able to take care of themselves. Let's clarify the Devil. Like, they need your support or they'll die without it, or vice versa, you know. The Five of Wands, fighting over the same thing over and over and over again. The Page of Swords. This could just be a lot of verbal arguments, verbal arguing, spying. It might be about a child or a young person, or with a child or young person. It might be enabling a young person or an adult child or something like that to the point where it's actually enabling. It's harmful for them, but you're kind of caught in this cyclical nature of it because maybe they're your child or you're related to them in some way. That could be just conversations. King of Swords is next. Interesting because the King of Swords showed up twice in the Virgo reading as well. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra energy, Sun, Moon, or Rising. It might be arguing about a child or a young adult or something of that sort. It might be in a personal relationship with somebody else. I mean, the specifics are going to vary. It's a general reading, but the energy fundamentally remains the same. Whatever this is, it's been going on for quite some time. I feel like there's been a lot of conversations about it, a lot of arguing about it, a lot of drama, going over and over the same thing again. And, you know, the crossroads is in front of you. Do I turn my back on this situation? Do I turn my back on the connection, at least for the time being? But if I do, this might happen. And if I don't, this might happen. And kind of being stuck in that place and not quite, you know, making up your mind yet. Let's clarify the Six of Cups with the Eight of Cups. It's like leaving home. Maybe somebody needs to leave home, especially if it's an adult child who is not being responsible for themselves when they're able to, or some version of that. Again, whatever the relationship with, whether it's with you know, parent and adult child, or you know, in a romantic relationship or with another family member or best friend, something like that. It's a long-term relationship and a long-term negative cycle as well. Do I leave? Do I go? Do I turn my back on it for the time being? Will I be able to take care of myself? Will they be able to take care of themselves? The Knight of Wands, fast action forward. Very fast movement. Four of Swords, which is actually taking a temporary time out. A lot of repeating cards from the Virgo reading. It's really interesting because I did that reading like 2 readings ago, so lots of shuffling in between. This is like leaving very quickly, almost impulsively, because you need to take a time out. This is a card of withdrawing temporarily, like taking a break from a conflict or a challenge or a battle, because you've got to get out of there. You need to rest, recuperate, maybe gain a different perspective, which you can't do when you're right in the middle of it. Leaving very quickly. Let's clarify the Queen of Pentacles. The Tower and the Eight of Wands. My goodness. Unexpected events. Major changes happening very quickly. The Eight of Wands is forward movement, activity, travel. Clarify who this Queen of Pentacles is in relation to Gemini. What's the connection to Gemini with this Queen of Pentacles? I still feel like for many of you, she's in a helpful position. Maybe she's helping you leave very quickly, very suddenly in the night, kind of blowing everything up, you know. The Three of Pentacles, teamwork, partnership, collaboration. Judgment. So we have Judgment and Justice both. So these are crossroads cards, and what you choose to do or choose not to do is probably what you're going to be stuck with for a long time, because there's an air of finality about Judgment and Justice. It represents that whatever you choose to say or not to say, or choose to do or not to do, that's, you know, you're not going to be able to reverse it. It's probably the path you're going to remain on for quite some time, so choose carefully. And the Lovers, a relationship being at a crossroads. I feel like she's, for many of you, this Queen of Pentacles is in a helpful position in terms of offering advice or even practical, resourceful help on, you know, come and be with me for a while, or I'm going to help you move. I'm going to help you move very quickly or very suddenly, or, you know, come now, I'll send you a ticket, or, you know, something of that sort. Clarify justice. What would the scales balancing out mean in this situation? What would justice look like in this situation? Because the Queen of Pentacles is bringing the energy of justice in the upright, which is another implication that she's in a positive position as well. I feel like whoever this King of Swords is, there's conflict with him or around something else with this person as well. The Ten of Wands, yeah, being able to lay a burden down, a cycle coming to an end, which is what tens represent. Temperance, balance, achieving balance. The Two of Wands, being at a crossroads and making a choice, a lot of that energy. In the Eight of Cups, again, leaving, walking away. So she's in a helpful position in some way, helping you to make up your mind as to, you know, leaving, or perhaps being offering a safe haven for you so that you can leave at least for a time to gain some perspective, recuperate, recover, and maybe gain a little bit of different insight. And this all takes strength to really look at the reality of this, you know, here with the Strength card. That's what it's about. It's taking a really good, sometimes very difficult look at what your participation or contribution to this ongoing negative cycle has been, and asking yourself, okay, what do I have the power to deal with? I'm accepting that this is my part in this, and what do I do moving forward? That can be a very difficult thing to do. Advice and guidance. Strength again. So we have strength twice, facing fear. So this is advice and guidance from Spirit. Maintain that strength energy. That's about looking at things clearly and realistically and honestly. Three of Cups. This is a card about socializing kindred spirits. Again, if this is a mother, sister, aunt, friend who's offering something to you, I feel like you need to take it and to go. The Three of Cups is actually a card of having fun too. Distractions, having fun. I'm not quite sure how that would fit in, but it might be, again, part of just getting away with this other person, or to be with this other person. The Wheel of Fortune and Justice. Yeah, divine timing and orchestration is also bringing justice. And you know, God, Spirit, angels, and guides often work through the form of other people, places, and situations to affect changes in our lives and our environment. Justice is also being governed by God, Spirit, angels, and guides here with the Wheel of Fortune. It's also about divine timing and orchestration. And it's about kind of letting go of your expectations of control over this, and understanding that balance is only going to be achieved once you remove yourself from the situation and let divine timing and orchestration allow what needs to happen here, even if it's going to be challenging for somebody, but like not supporting or enabling somebody in their continued bad habits, or being a contributing factor to that. So Gemini, that is your reading for the last 2 weeks of March. Kind of a bit of a heavy one, but not bad. It just looks challenging, as you know, going through these sorts of things are. So I hope it's been helpful in that sense for whoever needed to hear it. Again, if you would like to reach out for a personal reading, maybe take a deeper look at something, feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to hear from you. You can also get that information by clicking on the description link below. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the April general readings. Until then, stay safe and well, be blessed, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.